Hey, I'm Siobhan, and I love talking about all the things related to freedom and personal growth. And I'm on a journey to redefine freedom on my own terms as I become the woman I desire to be. Each week, I'll share in real time what I'm learning as I do my inner work while creating a safe space for my listeners to feel seen. If you desire to be free and live a life that feels good to you, then you're in the right place for beautiful conversations that's going to support you on your journey to freedom. Welcome to the Siobhan J. Middleton podcast. Now let's start the show. Hey, welcome back to another episode of my podcast. I'm your host, Siobhan, and you already know I'm so happy that you are here again for another week as I share how I am redefining freedom on my own terms. And basically, I'm taking y'all along for the ride. And each week, I want you to be inspired, to be empowered, to really show up for yourself and do the work. And each of us, our work will look different, but it's up to you to show up and figure out what it is that you want your life to look like and then go after it. I'll give this reminder. My podcast is for everyone, both men and women, whomever you are, that you just want to be free and you want to hear someone else really share how they're doing it. This podcast is for you. I also want to say up front before I get into my topic is please, go ahead and subscribe to the podcast. Make sure you're sharing this podcast with a friend. Share it on social media, all of the things. Help me get the word out. I greatly appreciate it. And I would love for you to rate it 5 stars on Apple Podcasts, 5 stars on Spotify, leave comments and all the things. That is really, really helpful. And I'm very grateful. So let's get into it. Today, I want to talk about my glow up. It seems like ever since, I would say for the last couple of years, people have been commenting on my glow. And I talk about it on social media and I've said it on the podcast here too. And I kind of want to just share what my steps are. You know, what am I doing to have this glow? Like, why am I glowing up, you know? And then I hope that you have your notebook out, you're taking notes, so whatever resonates with you, you can jot that down. I received this DM from one of my supporters online, and she DM'd me actually last week on IG, and she said, "Hey, boo, just took a scroll down your page. You look and energetically feel amazing. Sending you even more big love and brilliant light." And when I got that message, I was like, oh, I love this. Like, it just made my evening. And then I went and I scrolled through my own page. And I encourage you to do that. Like, if you're following me on Instagram, I want you to scroll from the top and just scroll through the feed for, a little bit. And you will see my transformation. You will see the shift. And it blows me away every time I think someone says that to me. Like, they notice my glow, they notice my energy, they notice my light, all of that. And basically what I'm hearing is that you see me. Like, when she sent me that DM, I felt so seen. Today, I went and met with someone, and it was a business meeting or what have you. And afterwards, the person that I was meeting with, he sends me a text. And this is what he said. And this was his first time meeting me. This is our first experience. And this was his experience with me after our very first meeting. He says, "Siobhan, it was a pleasure meeting with you. Your energy and enlightenment is visible, embraced, and shared. Thanks for the convo." This person has just met me. We probably spent all of 30 minutes just chit-chatting or what have you. And this was the response that I received. From the DM and then this text, I'm like, I'm inspired to talk about my glow up and why it's showing up the way that it is. The work that I am doing, what it looks like is that there's no performance. There's no pretending. I am shining from the inside out. This glow that you are experiencing, it is real. And is showing up really, really bright. And I'm going to express, first of all, gratitude. I love it. I mean, it's probably the best compliment ever when someone says you're glowing, or I can see your light, or you're shining bright, or something like that. Like, it is the best compliment ever. Even though I was doing the work to be free, it looked very different before. And yet my light wasn't as bright as it is now. And I'm going to say the first reason for that is because I was in an unhealthy marriage, and getting a divorce and leaving the person who dimmed my light. Now that I am no longer in that marriage, like, you can see, like, I'm truly shining. And why is that? Because whenever you are walking along someone, you're in relationship, friendship, or what have you, and they're not good for you in whatever capacity, it's going to take something from you. It's almost like you'll have like this dark cast over you, if you will, or this shadow. Maybe that makes more sense. And I was sharing with a friend earlier today, I said, I divorced my ex, but I also divorced that old version of myself. That means that now, divorcing that old version of myself, I have to show up different. I'm still learning, like, what is that going to look like for me? Because the way that I showed up before, because I divorced that old version of myself, those beliefs, those thoughts, like how I moved, like, I'm no longer that version of myself. And who am I now, and who am I becoming? Yes, you're seeing the glow now, but trust and believe that my light is going to get brighter and brighter and brighter the more that I discover and learn and love more of myself, The next thing that I want to share as it relates to my glow is the inner work that I'm doing. I've shared before, like, I'm now in therapy, but this time around the therapy looks very different because I'm different. And I'm working solely on self. And I take time after my therapy session. I don't work, I don't do anything, and I'm processing what came up in therapy, because sometimes it's a lot. I think because I am processing, because I am healing, whatever heaviness that has been on me from the past is being released, right? And so then I'm glowing and I'm shining bright, because what was dimming my light before, I'm processing through. The next thing is I'm affirming myself. Like, every day I meditate for a few minutes, and then right when I'm done, I give myself a hug and I say, I love you, Siobhan. I'm affirming myself throughout the day. I just started reading this prayer every morning that has been helpful. And the more that I speak life over myself and I affirm who I am, that is me doing my work, and I'm healing, The other thing is I am truly living my life, like freely living my life, and I love it here. I am having such a good time being myself and doing the things that I love and I enjoy, whether it's roller skating, going out with my friends, going to a bookstore, going for a walk, going to a coffee shop just to sit, going to concerts by myself. Like, I'm truly living my life, and I'm not living for anyone else but Siobhan. And I'm figuring out, okay, what is it that I want to do today? What do I want to eat? All the things. What do I want to listen to? What do I want to consume? And I'm living my life versus allowing other people in the past to dictate how I should live. And so when I'm living my life and doing the things that I enjoy, yeah, you're going to see my light. So I just discovered this past Tuesday after therapy. I went to the dollar store because what I really wanted from the dollar store, I've been seeing the girls on TikTok buy these jars that they're meal prepping in, but I didn't see them at the dollar store. So then I was like, you know what, Siobhan, you're not in a rush. You're doing nothing today. So let's just walk through each aisle, right? So I'm going through each aisle and I'm picking up a few things. And when I go down the aisle with the book, I come across the word searches. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to get me a word search book. And I buy it and all the things. And I get home and I start doing the word searches, and I'm just going through it. And it reminded me when I was younger, I used to do word searches all the time. And I don't know where I got it from, but I do remember enjoying it. And I've been having a good time watching TV and doing my word searches. And that is living my life because I'm doing the things that bring me joy. I'm not worried about what anybody else is doing. No, I like doing word searches. I like roller skating. I like baking. Tuesday, I baked some lemon blueberry bread. And I also made granola from scratch. So I've really been enjoying cooking and baking. And these are things that genuinely bring me joy. And that's why I do them. And that's how I'm living my life. Another thing, and this is key, I want you to write this down. I'm very mindful of the energy that's around me. I shared this on, did I share this on the podcast? I know I shared it on Instagram. Unfollowed people, and I'm continuing doing that actually. Like just unfollowing people that don't serve me, or I just don't want to see their page, or just being very mindful of what's in my feed, right? And then I went through my phone and I deleted old numbers that I'm like, I'm not going to reach out to this person again, and I'm just clearing out space so that way I can be open to receive more of what I want. I'm setting boundaries, and I'm really, really, really taking care of myself. And energy is everything to me. And I don't have a lot of tolerance, I would say, for people who treat me in a way that doesn't feel good to me. And it's not like I'm going to cut you off, but I'm going to see something that I don't like, and then I'm going to put up a boundary and I'm going to move forward accordingly. And that is how I'm taking care of myself, because I understand that everyone's energy, and I talked about this on a previous episode, is not good for me, right? And so I have to be very mindful with who I spend time with, where I'm spending time, and things like that. So I'm really big on being mindful about the people that I spend time with and clearing out unwanted, individuals, like whether you're on my phone, you're on my social media, removing that energy, because I really got to protect my energy at all costs. When I remove people, that means they're no longer holding up space, I'm being very mindful about how I keep my home, making sure that it's clean and organized and, not cluttery. And when it does get like that, getting it together so that I can be in a good mental space. Another thing that I'm doing, and I feel like this is, contributing to my glow because I'm having fun doing it, is I'm reading a lot of fiction books now, which if y'all been following me for a while, when I first started my company in 2014, I had stopped reading fiction books, even though I loved it. I was like, you got to focus on personal development and business books. And it wasn't until I think like maybe the last year or two, I would read a fiction book here or there. But now I'm intentionally reading romance books and then some other fiction books, but also reading personal development books as well. And I'm having a really good time. And then if you ever want to know a good book to read, or you just need some ideas, because someone had reached out to me, I think a couple of weeks ago, I always put my Amazon bookstore link in my show notes so you can check that out and find some of the amazing books that I've read. Two other things that I believe that's contributing to my glow is that, and I kind of spoke to this before, but I'm being my authentic self. Like I am fully being Siobhan, and I've attracted people around me that like me. And I don't have to perform and try to make them like me. No, they like me just because of who I am. And that's because I like myself. And I was having this conversation with a friend yesterday because I was sharing with her how I've been going through old pictures. And with these pictures, I was looking at like pictures from college and things like that. And so we were having this conversation. And I was like, yeah, I want to go back. And I'm going to do an episode more about this, but just for the sake of right now. I was like, I was looking at these pictures from my 20s, and I'm trying to go back and connect with that version of myself. And she was like, well, I don't really want you to go back to that version. I'm like, what do you mean? She was like, people were very unkind to you. And I'm like, oh, no, no, no. I said, I'm not that version of myself anymore. I now set boundaries. I'm no longer codependent, things like that. And she said, yeah, you've always had this sweet innocence to you. And I said, oh, don't worry. Like, that is a part of who I am. Like, I'm always going to have that. I love that she pointed that out because it speaks to being my authentic self, like that sweetness, that innocent part, like that is just who I am. And if you've known me for any amount of time, then you can be a witness of that as well. And then lastly, as it relates to my glow, I feel my feelings now. Like, I really feel them. I'm no longer trying to mask or pretend like they don't exist. I am feeling them, whether they're a negative or positive, what have you. And I'm really finding the right feeling for the emotion that I'm having. That is some of the work that I've been doing. And what I'm realizing as I'm feeling my feelings and I'm being my authentic self and I'm doing things that bring me joy. I'm surrounding myself with people that like me. I'm no longer in relationships and friendships that stunt my growth, right? I'm meditating. I'm living my life how I want to live it. That is all why you're experiencing my glow and my light. And again, as I said earlier, it's going to continue I'm going to continue to shine brighter and brighter and brighter because I'm doing the work for that. Like, I probably said this on the podcast, I know I did, but like for so long, it's like I was asleep to my life and my light, like the light that I have in my eyes now, I didn't have it before. Like sometimes I'll go through my feed and I'll look at old pictures of myself and I'm like, wow, you are not that version of yourself anymore. And I love her. I love that version because I had to do what I needed to do to survive, but I'm not in that survival mindset anymore because I left relationships and environments that were unhealthy for me. And now I love my life. Like, I love it here. And even when I have challenging moments, just like the next person, I would rather have challenging moments where I'm at now than in any other place. And so I'm excited about my light shining even brighter. I'm so grateful for everyone that witnessed it and they acknowledge it. And I hope me sharing my process and what I'm doing, I hope that's inspiring to you in some capacity where if you are feeling like the light has left you or you are not happy with your life or you're not feeling free, that you make a decision to do one small thing, right? One small thing to shift the direction of your life. And I promise you, the more and more and more that you do these small things, you'll start to see changes. The biggest change that I needed to make for myself was I had to get a divorce. I had to. I had to leave my marriage. Otherwise, I would have been, or forever, been dying a slow death. And I don't want that for myself, and I don't want that for anyone listening to me. So I encourage you to do your work. I encourage you to go to therapy, journal, find your friends, like figure out the things that you enjoy, and just go live your life because we only have one life to live. And I'm going to make the best of it while I'm here. As always, thank you so much for listening. So if you're inspired in any way to show up for yourself and you love what I shared, I would love for you to treat me to a cup of coffee. And you can always do so by clicking that link in the show notes. Also, subscribe to my newsletter. Every Sunday, I send out a new newsletter, just kind of expressing a little bit more in written word how I'm being free, and redefining freedom on my own terms. And you can also become a paid subscriber and you'll get the weekly newsletter. You'll have access to our exclusive chat and you'll be supporting me as I prepare to send my daughter to college. She leaves for Brooklyn this fall and she's going to art college. And I'm so excited and all the support is so beneficial. And so I thank you in advance. And you can do that by clicking the link in the show notes. Don't forget to subscribe, to share, to review, all the things. and sending you so much love and light. Until next time.